Sarah was an 18-year-old girl who was a freshman in college. She was a good student and a member of the college girls basketball team. The day before her first game, Sarah came down with a cold and a sore throat. Her coach advised her to stay home from classes and rest up for the big game. Later that afternoon, Sarah developed a fever of 103 and a rash. She also felt extremely weak. Her roommate took her to the college clinic where they diagnosed her with the flu and sent her home with instructions to increase her fluid intake. 1 hour later, Sarah's roommate was unable to awaken Sarah and noticed her extremities were swollen and appeared to be bruised. The roommate called 911 and Sarah was taken to the town's ER where she died 30 minutes later. It was later confirmed that Sarah had contracted meningococcal meningitis. Parents stated that she had not been vaccinated for the disease at her college physical appointment. The physician had told the parents that the disease was extremely rare and the vaccine was not really necessary. In the U.S., many parents and adults are refusing vaccinations due to lack of education and personal fears that vaccines may cause more harm than good. It has been increasingly popular in the 21st century with school-aged children due to the myth that some vaccines may cause autism. According to Healthy People 2020's article titled Immunization and Infectious Diseases, approximately 42,000 adults and 300 children in the U.S. die each year from vaccine-preventable diseases. This is due to lack of information and education on vaccines and the belief that herd immunity will prevent disease from occurring in unvaccinated people. Unfortunately, with increasing numbers of the population refusing vaccines, herd immunity is decreasing and preventable diseases are re-emerging. Vaccines were created to prolong life and prevent future generations from having to experience such diseases like polio and the measles that generally took the lives of many children and young adults. I would like to persuade you today to educate yourself on the benefits of vaccines and to remain vigilant on keeping yourself and loved ones vaccinated. First, let's look at how the FDA ensures a vaccine is safe for use in the public. Vaccines are tested extensively in the lab and with human subjects to ensure their safety, according to the CDC. Researchers use computers to see how the vaccine will interact with the human immune system. Then, vaccines are tested on animals like mice, guinea pigs, and monkeys. Last, volunteers participate in research studies. It takes 10 or more years to obtain a vaccine license. The CDC says that the FDA requires that vaccines undergo 3 phases of clinical trials with human subjects before they can be licensed for use in the general public. Phase 1 has 20 to 100 volunteers and it lasts a few months. Phase 2 has several hundred volunteers and it lasts several months to 2 years. Phase 3 has several hundred to several thousand volunteers and it lasts several years. After a vaccine is licensed, its use in the general public is monitored. Manufacturers must submit samples from each vaccine lot before its release, must provide test results for the vaccine's safety, potency, and purity. Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System is in place to monitor for adverse reactions experienced by the public after receiving a vaccination. Now let's debunk some popular myths regarding vaccination safety. According to publichealth.org, despite the fact that numerous studies have found no evidence to support that vaccines cause autism or other chronic diseases, many parents are still refusing to vaccinate their children. A link has been found between falling immunization rates and reemergences of vaccine-preventable diseases. California had 9,120 cases of the whooping cough in 2010, since the vaccine was introduced in the year 1940. The measles outbreak at Disneyland in 2014 affected 147 people. Myth number 1. Vaccines cause autism in children. This came from a 1997 study published by British surgeon Andrew Wakefield, which suggested that the MMR vaccine caused autism. The study had numerous errors and ethical violations. It was discredited, and Wakefield lost his medical license to practice. Recent research shows that autism develops in utero and has no link to vaccinations. Myth number 2. Vaccines contain unsafe toxins. Trace amounts of formaldehyde, mercury, aluminum are found in some vaccines, but there's no scientific evidence to prove that these trace amounts are harmful to the body. Myth number 3. Vaccines can infect you with the disease they are trying to prevent. You may experience mild symptoms of the disease, but this occurs in less than 1 million cases. Symptoms occur as a result of the body's response to the vaccine, not the disease. Myth number 4. Vaccines are no longer needed because disease rates are low in the U.S. Herd immunity protects the population when a large majority are vaccinated. It protects those that cannot receive vaccines, such as newborns, immunosuppressed patients, and chemotherapy patients. Herd immunity is lost when too much of the population stops receiving vaccines. Last, let's look at how preventable diseases like the measles and meningitis are making a comeback. Diseases like the measles and meningitis are preventable and can be eliminated through vaccination. The measles has started to resurface again since 2004, but it can be eliminated again with the help of the vaccine. Measles was officially eliminated in the U.S. in the year 2000. In 2004, 34 cases were reported, and in 2014, 648 cases were reported. Before the vaccine was available in 1967, nearly all children contracted the disease. 3 to 4 million were infected, 400 to 500 died, and 48,000 were hospitalized. Side effects of the measles vaccine are mild. They include fever, rash. 1 in 3,000 may have a high fever resulting in a seizure. Teens and adults may experience temporary joint stiffness. Many cases of meningococcal meningitis can be prevented through vaccination as well. According to the American College Health Association, approximately 100 to 125 cases of meningococcal disease occur on college campuses each year, and 60% are preventable by vaccination. 1,400 to 3,000 people acquire the disease each year. It causes 100 to 300 deaths per year. Teens and young adults account for 30% of these cases. The vaccine is safe and effective, and it induces an immune response in 7 to 10 days. Adverse reactions are infrequent and mild, but usually just consist of pain at the injection site. Based on the facts I have stated regarding vaccinations and their safety, it would be beneficial for everyone to receive vaccinations and booster shots in order to help preserve the health of the public and prevent some of these life-threatening diseases from making a comeback. If you choose not to vaccinate yourself or your children, it not only puts you at risk, but it endangers the lives of newborns, the elderly, and immunosuppressed. Vaccines are tested thoroughly for many years, and the benefits of receiving them far outweigh the risk of contracting a potentially life-threatening disease. As cancer survivor Jacob Adashek said, transmission is as easy as being at the same place at the same time as the infected. Each breath we take, it is an airborne possibility. For people like me, our best shot at staying safe is in the hands or shot into the arms of the community.